don't get on this goddamn app if you are not ready to date. If you are still dealing with daddy issues or your ex's issues or you're still hurt, get off this goddamn app. No one is here to suffer the consequences of your fuck ups. Let me be clear. If you got your heart broken and you think you're about to impose the rules that you were too scared to impose on your abuser, I'm going to end up telling you that. But make your application appealing. We can get into that now about how I assess profiles.
Okay.
So I think the most, and just out of, and I'll only use Bumble and Hinge. I mean Bumble and Tinder as a contrast. I'll speak specifically in Hinge. There are a few things. There's a few things that there are a bunch of don't do's, like no. And I have my magical list here.
Okay, cool. All right. So can we since you have Heero has a list, you guys, and Heero's very specific, but I feel like this is going to be helpful for a lot of people who are on apps. Guys, this is what you need to be looking for. Ladies, this is what you should have on your profile so you come off as appealing as possible. Okay, so let me give a little bit of background on Heero. I'm gonna brag on my brother for a little bit.
Oh my goodness, please, Eric.
He's 6'5", 300 pounds, former collegiate and professional athlete. That's all you need to know. He has a master's degree in forensic pathology. He's done research, lung perfusion. Is currently in school working on his PA licensure. So he's very, very, very accomplished and very, very, very high value. And so if a guy a six-figure man, and he's been a six-figure man since for 10 years now, when this kind of a person is telling you, hey, this is what I'm looking for in a woman, these are kind of things that I'm paying attention to. Notice if the guys that you're dealing with aren't paying this level of detail to your profile, they're probably not worth engaging in a relationship with. So take it away, bro.
And let me remind you, Eric is the ultimate goals here. He's the married man with the happy wife, happy life. He has
happy spouse, happy house. Hold on.
Hey.
Happy spouse, happy house.
You see how he corrected me? That's because he knows he is the epitome of this. The goal is to get to something where I can brag about being married for 7 years. That's the goal. But I graciously appreciate the talk, the cheers. Let's get to the jeers now, people. Ladies, your profile is your profile. And I want you to know one thing off top. It's physical.
Yep.
We see you physically first. I'm never going to look at someone's height, degree, age, race, background. I'm going to see you physical. So your first picture has to be captivating. And if you have a total of 5 pictures on on Hinge's platform. So you need to be able to engage the male's mind first physically with 5 pictures.
Okay, Heero, I gotta ask you this question here. From the type of man that you are, and I know you mentioned it about back shots earlier on, was it Bumble or Tinder or whatever? Mm-hmm. Like, when you say has to be appealing, can you be a bit more granular? Because some people on here watching that means, I need to put TNA on display to get this guy's attention.
No. Appealing is in the eye of the beholder. I find a woman's body, mind, face picture a godsend. You guys are the best thing that's ever happened to me. I also, if I'm coming down from this, you could walk around. You can have an A cup, or you can have a double D to a K cup. Doesn't mean anything past the picture. So it has to be gay. Like your total package is what it things. To a younger Heero, ass and titty was all you needed to get my attention. But to an older Heero, I need to be able to wake up and turn around and be like, yeah, I can walk outside with you. You need to be healthy. You need to be natural. You need to be comfortable in yourself above all else. Because a lot of the problems I have with girls are finding out that these girls don't truly love themselves, so my love will never be enough for you.
Ooh, that's ooh. Can we pause here for a second and talk about that? Now, I know Hero probably better than 99% of the rest of the human beings that know him, but me and him have had extensive conversations about this. He is looking for a wife, but having a hard time finding a young lady to give this kind of a love to because that person doesn't love themselves. And I have friends dealing with women that they're in relationship with, some married, that are having the same issue. They're trying to love their woman, but the love that they're giving is being rejected because the woman doesn't love herself. Can you speak on that just a little
And I
bit?
speak on this, and don't get it construed with like this other thing. A lot of women blossom. A lot of women have found it difficult to blossom in today's world when the identity of beauty has been set either unrealistically or too high for you. I'm not for every 5'10" supermodel with a no waist and a gargantuan booty and nice titties that you see on TV, it's not you. It's not supposed to be you. Not
No,
every man wants that.
the
You have
majority of
to
men don't.
truly find yourself to be acceptable to yourself and yourself alone, because that boat of confidence is what spills over into the senses of a man. If a man feels like you are open to the idea of loving yourself first, he'll have no problem doing. That's why I love this boom of natural hair for black women. We're not wearing this makeup and stuff like this and doing it. But and once again, this is not a diss to the women that do it. But I think there's a cohort of women who felt they had to put on weaves, wigs, and makeup in order to feel pretty, and that's no longer a standard. You can come on and be your natural self.
Mm-hmm.
Every girl that I date, I almost look for opportunities to get them out of makeup. Oh, let's go do this. Oh, it's gonna be sort of a physical activity, so I don't want to put on make. Yeah. Come casual. Like I want it to be you, because if you spend all this time projecting this person that you want me to see, you're gonna slip up. And then when
Right.
you have a bad day, you want to hope and make sure that it's not your worst day.
Yeah.
So you need to kind of be prepared that come as you are. It's like church, like religion. That's what they say, right?
Hey, it
Like come
is.
as you are. I just want to see you
Mm.
as you are, and once again, it's not a diss to the people who want to get dressed because you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
But as a man, me personally, I want to see my woman in her natural state. I
Yep.
want to know what that looks like, and that's important to me. So that first shot needs to be you in an essence of how you appreciate yourself. My first shot is literally my passport shot.
Yep.
Picture from my passport. That is it. Me, big old smile. And it's very clear to see who I am in that picture. Women have it way tougher when it comes to the whole dating app because they know that they're being judged on their looks. Guys, we can be idiots and get away with it, which isn't fair, but that's the way the
Okay, so
scale is
so
set.
so so let me ask you this question. You saying women have it tougher because they're being judged on their looks? Are not the men being judged on their looks too?
But and I will say this as a person that's been who switched sides to see what women have to put up with.
Mm.
The top five pictures of every guy: him in his car, him next or outside to his car, him shooting a gun, him him amongst his brothers, or like hugged up in a bar scene, and then him like at a wedding. Literally, I've every woman right now
That's lame as
is
hell.
every woman is screaming right now. Oh my god, those are the pictures I see. It's
I
just
bet.
and it's just crazy when you think about it. So then I'll push back to the other side. For women, this is what gets super important. So now we have established that first picture, that picture of you that you want me to know you as. This is the picture. Two, I need a full body shot.
Come on. Yeah.
I need to know
You
what
don't
your
want
body looks.
these. I don't want you taking pictures from this angle and
It
only stopping from the
yes.
cleavage up. Like we know you fat. Like if I'm sorry, I just had to throw it
Be
out there.
fat.
Listen,
My whole thing
be
is be
yes,
fat.
be fat. Just be that. Don't because what it is and this is the way guys think of it. When I see that photo, I've seen that photo 1,000 times if I haven't seen it a million, and I know what the rest of your body looks like. See, men have this weird thing that we have like X-ray vision, and we can piecemeal We can look at your cheeks, your neck,
Your
your
chin,
bust
and no,
line,
yeah.
and we can know. So don't play me, son. Just be honest. Because
Um,
what do you really want? Because to me that says to me, I'm out kicking my coverage. That
mm,
means what I want, I have not worked to merit. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. Not really, but I can say that because I'm a guy who watches what he eats. I literally have a gym right there. I'll take pictures and Hero will post it one day. But we get busy over here. Hero works out. Hero doesn't go anywhere, but he goes out in his backyard and runs in his neighborhood. But it's his commitment to his fitness. He doesn't eat a bunch of crap. He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't drink alcohol. Like those are his commitments to his self. But at the same time, as guys, we're not, do you notice? Do you ever see an average built dude on these dating apps that don't give you a full body shot?
man, and that's what I was
Dudes,
gonna say.
dudes do it.
Yeah,
So
we
why can't
own it.
you?
We own it. And also, and once again, I think it comes down to once again, do you love yourself?
Come on, that's it.
Like if this is going to be a granular topic for me because every time I run into this issue, and obviously there's 101 things that diabetes could run in the system. It could be genetic system. It could
Hyperthyroidism.
be
I
a
get
bunch.
it.
I get it, but do you love yourself? Is what's going to be the defining feature for me. So full body shot. It doesn't
Mm,
necessarily need to be like a pose model, but everyone has a camera phone now.
yes.
Everyone there's people take pictures literally of everything. So then that picture needs to exist. The
Hmm.
third picture, and this is a tricky one because I'm gonna tell you what you shouldn't have as your third picture. This is your profile. This is about you. So your third picture needs to tell me something that about you that will tell me something that you like or do without you telling me. For
Hmm.
example, I my third picture is me in scrubs wearing a Black Lives Matter scrub hat with the jacket that says level 1 trauma. You know I work in the healthcare industry. You also know I care about Black lives. So I'm socially justly aware. So you need to know if you're a conservative, there's probably going to be a chance that me and you aren't going to get along outright. But you now know these things. So if you do decide to take a chance, you can't say you never were told.
Mm.
But the third picture I find that's most unattractive is it's a picture of their dog. It's a
No.
picture of it's a picture of their art. It's a group picture with their friends. And believe it or not, ladies, and this might seem shallow, but if I have to scroll back up to see what you look like to make sure that the girl I looked at is you, you've lost because now
Yep.
I find your friend more attractive. And I think it's super petty because this is some new shit that they're doing. They put stickers on their friends in the picture. Then
Oh
why
no.
why then why post the picture at all?
Yep.
If you have to block out your friends, why did you post the picture at all? And of course, the answer is, well, I got tired of people asking me about my friends. Why are you being selfish? If a guy you liked and found attractive and to be decent came on your profile and asked you, hey, with all due respect, I think you're a fine young lady, but the lady in your picture, I have to ask, is she seeing somebody? If just take this out of just taking this in context. Now remove the app and put this in a bar. Hey, quick question: the friend that just left, is she seeing anybody? Oh no, she's not. Okay, I'm gonna go talk to her real quick then. Thank you.
But okay, let's use that in a bar setting. You
Mm-hmm.
approach a woman, she finds you attractive.
Mm-hmm.
I Otherwise she really wouldn't be entertaining your conversation unless she's trying to get a free drink out of you. All that to say, you approach a woman, you start engaging her, ask her about a friend. Is she going to get in her feelings in that live setting? Yeah. So I can understand why they get in their feelings, but to your point, don't post a picture with you and your friends. Don't want to see it.
It don't want to see
Especially if you're not the pretty friend.
it.
You
It's
better be the
always that
baddest
way.
one. You better be the baddest one in the
Okay,
photo.
and maybe I'm wrong with this. Maybe I'm wrong with this
I
because
don't think so.
I immediately think to myself when I see a picture of 5 women that you're the girl in the middle. Why else would you? The girl in the middle has to be the focal point of
baddest
the
one.
pic.
Yeah.
So she's the focal point, or she's the person of interest. But when I look at these pictures, it's usually a wedding picture because women, you're guilty of it too, and you're the best girl. And it's like, well, why do I want you when the one that's clearly the winner is in the middle? She got married. Y'all waiting. Like what's so why take this picture? And to the bar illusion, obviously I would walk up to the girl straight away, but that's assuming like I didn't have prior contact with you. So I would say it would make a lot more sense if we were already acquaintance and I asked you about your best friend. Don't get mad at me for that. Don't get mad at me for that. The fourth picture needs to be a movement, needs to be an action. It needs to be you moving, because elegance, like people say, like a picture is worth 1,000 words, so a video is worth 1,000,000. So it gives us more context to how you flow. Some of my favorite pictures are women who dance or who have an activity or have, like, my favorite is them doing public speaking or some form of like notion, because it gives you more bang for your buck, a better understanding of what you want to do and who you want to be. And I think the fifth picture, if I had to speak on it, and this one is, it could be really anything, but I expect to see a flattering picture of you. I expect to see a little bit more of a risque version, because you are single and you are trying to entice people to come here. And by risque, I don't mean you got your boobs out. Risque is in, hey, you went to Little Havana Beach the other day or whatever. Let me see that bikini. You had a birthday party or celebration and you got this flash dress with some nice boots. Let me see that. Let me see your flaunt. Let me see your drip. Let me see if can I take you outside. I want my girl to obviously look better than me at all times. So I want the epitome of a trophy wife that earned her stripes. You feel me?
Yep.
So I think that's not too much to ask, but classy and sexy, they don't rhyme, but they go well with each other.
Yeah.
So it needs to be something reputable. There's something a little bit, and man, this is me showing my fucking age, because there are pictures I see on Instagram or stuff like this. I'm like, I get it. You have an ass. You have tits. We get it. And we get it. Stop it. Stop putting this like it's so over.
It is, but you know what, man? Is because
that's me looking also. So I'm
guilty for looking. But you know what? You stopped and looked on that photo, and the photo before that was another face with the same pose and the same kinds of clothes. So you think guys are getting inundated and saturated with those kinds of things?
It's becoming oversaturated for sure. Like,
and men, we're desensitized to TNA. We are completely desensitized.
You need more.
You need if you're trying to get a higher caliber dude, then you have to do more than the average chick. See, if you're doing what average chicks do, don't be surprised that you get an average dude. That's why you freaking always calling guys online F boys, but you put up an F girl photo.
The thing that I love about Hinge is it gives women the opportunity to speak past their pictures. And let's get to that, because the flow of the mind's mind, like I said, we're physical first. So we're going to look at all your pictures first. And after we're done with all your pictures, the second thing and the most valuable thing, you get 4 prompts where there are random questions you could ask or put out there to kind of give people an idea of your personality. And these prompts are something that I read immediately after. And women, take the prompts seriously and write them out. Like, let them be thought out, because they are a literal projection of who you are. An example of one of the prompts would be is, you shouldn't date me if, and then you fill in the blank. And I think a lot of people should take advantage, and that's not the one you should use, but this is the one that I like to see used, because that's a woman telling you as a man, like, if you have a problem with me being emotional and wanting to have consistency from you, this is her telling you as a man, don't come here with that bullshit. I'm not the one. So, and then another thing that you immediately have to do is use these prompts to catch the attention of the people you're looking for. I love the one that caught my eye that immediately said, teach me something that you just found out, or teach me something you think I don't know. So based on that, I'm looking at your profile, assuming what I don't know about, which forces me to then look at your profile even more. Because if I come in there and say, "Oh, I don't think you have knowledge on this," but you are an engineer on the topic, you're an SME on the topic. Well, damn, now I want to know how you know so much about it. It forces me to take a further step into it. Do something with your prompts that forces me to look deeper into your profile, because that's what the prompt should be for. Now let's talk about the demographics, which is the most fundamental part of Hinge, which makes Hinge so important because, like I said, Hinge lets you pick race, age, location, distance, education, height, work ethic, religion, children, future prospects of children, smoking, weed, alcohol, pills. It lets you pick exactly what you want to build in your woman.
Mm.
You have to once if you're too lazy to fill this out, I'm going to be too lazy to ask you out.
Wow, you might say that again.
If you are too lazy to tell me about yourself so I don't have to ask, you might not ever get the attention you're looking for. You are not going to be asked out if you don't fill out the basic necessities. The same way you won't get a job application if you don't put your name on the application. You have to do the bare minimum if you want to get the bare minimum. It's all Hinge is really a reflection of yourself. And people don't get it. Hinge. What is a hinge? Something that opens and closes on itself. You are literally going to open and close on the effort you give. So if you're giving the effort, it's going to be reciprocated. And once again, I know this to be factual. Ladies, we get it. You have a child, that is your child. If you have a child and I'm looking at pictures of your child but don't see it in your description, I'm not an idiot for thinking that that's your niece or your little brother or some random kid you found on the street. It might be strange that you put them on your profile, but it also breaks rule number 3. The profile is about you. Don't assume that a guy's going to know that's your kid when there's a tab on the profile that lets them know you have kids. Fill out your profiles. Be honest, because we're going to find out eventually who you are. And the only thing worse than wasting a swipe on somebody is knowing that you didn't have to waste it on them if they had just been upfront in the beginning. No one's going to judge you past the truth because that's the truth.
Unfortunately, bro, I used to think that men were way more self-conscious about how people perceive them, but I got older and realized very quickly that's not the case. And so have you seen on a lot of these apps that there's women who knowingly withhold certain pieces of information in hopes that they get the guy they want to swipe right on them and then hit them with the, hey, by the way, I got
absolutely
2 kids, or they let you clap some cheeks and then they spring that on you.
The thing about it is not even the kids that I get the most like. Women, a lot of women on here tend to hide the fact that they were previously married.
Oh, that's a huge problem.
And you can get it divorced or whatnot, but I feel like, once again, there's an option for that. So why isn't that something you're speaking on? The children aspect, it's understandable. I'm 32. If I'm swiping right on a 32-year-old woman, it's logical to believe she probably has a kid already. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you, as I say, there's nothing wrong for that. There's someone out there for that. It just doesn't happen to be me. I at one point was okay with being a stepfather and being somebody else's father. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit more colder to that idea. It's not to say that some girl could come up here and sweep me on my feet and I got a 2-year-old all of a sudden. All right. I'm the pappy.
I'm the pappy. Nah, bump that, bro. You ain't got no kids. You listen, I mean, if you made it through college and NFL life with no kids, there's women out there for you that don't have children. I don't want to like talk. This isn't me and Heero talking down on women that have children. That's your decision. Children are an absolute blessing. It's just not a blessing that I want to take on. Because when I'm talking about my legacy and my family, I'm talking about me shooting my seed into my wife and producing kids, not some losers. Unless the husband died, was like some military hero or some first responder that died in the line of duty. The only exception there. Still wouldn't date you though if I was single. Sorry, not gonna do it. Can't do anybody else's kids.
And I can hear you guys smashing your fingers on the keyboard right now, saying, "Eric, but guess what? That's Eric's preference. He didn't say that.
I don't get to have a preference, Heero, because I'm a dude. I don't get to have a preference.
You guys are giving Eric the opportunity to shield to the neck beards out here. But the truth is, you cannot be mad at someone's preference. And we talked about this, and I'm gonna put on my kitty gloves real quick. Can I get a disclaimer real quick?
Yep.
All
disclaimer.
Right. Disclaimer real quick. Hey, how you doing? My name's Heero. That's Eric. We host a show called The Identity Booth, and a few things I'm going to say in the next few minutes might be out of context or might be perceived wrong, but I want to give a blanket statement. Me, and on behalf of Eric, have no problem with transgender people or how they choose to live or how they choose to be. Your identification is yours. And if I've ever done anything or said anything to make anybody from this community feel less than or not equal to, that is me. This is me and the Identity Booth apologizing for that, as it was never our intent, because you are an individual who deserves the utmost respect, as all individuals. As a man who has been oppressed in his past life, I have not even a fathom of interest of oppressing someone else in my new life. So with that being said, if I don't use the proper verbiage or noun, just know you get it. I'm trying my best here.
Charge it to my head, not my heart.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So with this being said, I have ran into people who have put things on their profile or have liked my profile and asked the question, do you date transgender men? Which would be a man trying to be a woman.
No, a woman who's
who's trying to be a man. Okay, so a transgender
no,
woman.
Can't say trying. A woman
they are
transition.
They have transition. Do I have a problem dating trans women? And I would say I want to have kids in the future. So if that is not something you can do, I don't think I would be fine dating you. And they would, and this is where it then becomes, I've given you my reason. I've humbly declined your advance. I've been approached by gay people in the past at bars and stuff. I find it flattering. But when I decline the advance, they usually get the deal. But then it becomes a sort of aggression because they want to feel validated by me or by some notion of me accepting them for who they are. Well, are you against adopting? Absolutely not. I think if I was put in a position where I could adopt a kid, I would. But that's not the position I'm in. If I can have kids of my own validity, I want to with my partner. And that's where the conflict comes. That's where you're this and you're that. They want to then at that point attack you. And I just hit the block button, which is another great feature on one of these apps. I don't feel that if you're trying to be this woke 2.0 black person who's putting I'm a cisgender woman, from which when I Googled it, it means you're just a woman in every sense of the word. Just put you're a woman. Don't make this any more complicated than it has to be.
We don't need wokeness on the dating app.
Yeah. They like, if I am already sighing heavily as I'm reading your shit, there's a strong likelihood that you will not get a swipe right. Disclaimer over. I appreciate you guys for taking this in stride or not taking it in stride. Leave it in the comment section below. Don't make it. Dating is already tough enough as it is.
Yep.
This app was designed to make it easier, and this pandemic has made it so much that you need to actually be good at this. And throughout this whole episode, I've been posting pictures of my apps or examples of this. Clearly, we don't give names and identities out on the public forum, so all of this has been hidden. But I have been talking to a few people on these apps, and there's actually people that, dare I say, I have been tempted to venture out into the public to see. And as a person who's taken this pandemic to the utmost T, like I haven't gone anywhere that I don't need to be. My one moment of weakness is when I went home to go see my mom. And that was, and I kind of just took every L possible. I went to go see every girl I could see at the same. Like I was like, all right, fuck it. If I'm going down, I'm going down in the flame of
Mm,
glory. But now, as I'm like getting ready for winter, I'm trying to line something up where it's like, hey, look, I want to be able to consistently say I can come to you, or at least have a mode of communication where I can develop into coming to see you exclusively. Like I'm not interested in trying to juggle three girls. That's like so 2008 for me. Uh, but women also have to come prepared to deal with what dating in COVID times look for, because courtship is not the same anymore. I can't take you to
mm,
these bars and dinner places when there's literally a person wearing a mask next to me. That just doesn't sit well with me. So it requires you to be a little bit more creative. It's going to require you to do a little bit more house visiting. But I think you can set up rules and parameters that make that dating experience still fun. I've done at least 2 days up to this point where I've done sort of a house visits and they weren't sexual. There was no tension there. It was just a formal date. But I feel like that comes with experience and a little bit of maturity. Like I'm an adult, I'm a grown ass man, and you're a grown ass woman. If you want to bump uglies, we don't need to sit here and send little letters with hearts around them. We can do that. We're well equipped. You feel me? But I think it's way more genuine when you both have a line of communication. And that's what I ultimately want to end this segment with. Be prepared to rehash your life.
mm.
Dating should be fucking fun. I love
Yes.
meeting people for the first time. I
Yeah.
love getting their reactions and hearing about their stories. And that shit is engaging me.
So let me pause you right here, bro, and ask this question. I mean, you've interacted with, I'm sure, dozens of ladies swiping right on you and you swiping right on them. If I'm saying that correctly, I don't know which way is the right way or not. Right is, did I say that
right
right?
is right is right, left is like left is out.
Okay, cool. All right, so I did say it right. So have you found on these things, to your point of what you're saying about dating should be fun and you should be ready to rehash your life? How many ladies have you saw that met your that got hit the check box on the physical, and as soon as it came into actually interacting with you, talking about life, what they want to do, where they want to go, what they're currently working on, what motivates them, what do you find that a lot of these ladies have a difficult time with that? Because I mean, again, dating's completely changed for this entire year. So you actually have to be a person of substance to get a person of substance. How has that worked for you?
To be perfectly honest, Eric, and I'll sing the praises of Hinge, I don't know if it comes down to my ability to pick women, but the women that I have engaged with on Hinge
Mm-hmm.
have been some of the best women I've ever dated. Uh, the women that I've dated from Hinge, some of the best relationships I've been. The women that I've experienced are more accomplished and more comfortable and ambitious or on par with me, which is fucking fascinating to see, because as a person, I have never really taken Odin's on ever expecting a woman to match me in a dating world.
Mm-hmm.
But with Hinge and its ability to kind of zero in on this, the women have risen to the occasion and surpassed it. I am thoroughly pleased with women that I meet on Hinge, and Hinge also gives me the ability to just be able to say I've experienced better, so I'm not going to settle for lackluster conversations on Hinge. Like I expect there to be an equal opposite return in your enthusiasm to this day, and she knows who she is. She knows, like, we're still in contact with each other, and that's because we made a bond and had an understanding, and we were adults and talked about it, and because of it, we're still close friends. And I love hearing about her progression past our relationship and how she's happy in her relationships now and the things that we've taken from each other. The women I'm talking to right now are fulfilling a quota of me which I didn't know was missing. And that is what I call a genuine connection. You don't feel pressured to impress anybody if they're only there to see you as you are. Come as you are.
Can we? All right. So now that we've talked about that, can we? And this may end up having to be like something completely a short video by itself. But can you talk about what not to do on a dating app for the, especially for these ladies out here? These are heroes. Absolutely, don't you freaking do it ever under any circumstances. Like photos, like bylines, their little description about me's, whatever. Like,
All right.
don't ever post these photos. Don't ever make these statements. Don't ever do this.
All right. And once again, this is completely subjective. This is me
No,
coming to you.
this is probably objective from
Active.
the majority of men, because I'm sure whatever you're gonna say, I'm sure I've heard other guys say the same thing.
Ladies, stop blowing smoke in the fucking camera in these pictures. You can smoke weed, but like uh, immediately from a professional standpoint, it just makes me question, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? No blacked out drunk photos of you. I have my age limit, and then let me give you my age limit is set from 25 to 32. That is my shit. So if you're 25 and I see pictures of you blacked out drunk, once again, I'm going to question, what are you doing in your life right now? I said this in a previous cast. I'll repeat it again. If you have kids, tell us. Don't show us. Don't assume that because you put a picture of you and a car seat in the back that I just know that that's your kid. I don't even know if you have a car. Stop guesstimating in this. Something that is never going to work. If you are showing your ass and titties, not even like nipples and all, but if you are projecting those things out, I know the type of people who are visiting your page, and I know how you're going to try and interact with me. You're going to assume that I'm a fuckboy because you're doing fuck girl things. Not my job. Number two, don't get on this goddamn app if you are not ready to date. If you are still dealing with daddy issues or your ex's issues or you're still hurt, get off this goddamn app. No one is here to suffer the consequences of your fuck ups. Let me be clear. If you got your heart broken and you think you're about to impose the rules that you were too scared to impose on your abuser, I'm going to end up telling you to go fuck yourself.
Wow, Heero, like this. And first of all, that's heavy, and not a lot. We know a lot of ladies are not gonna want to hear that, but that's as raw as it needs to be said to you. What the guys that I feel like a lot of ladies would like are guys like you who are not going to put up with the shenanigans and tell them, hey, listen, I don't have time for your daddy issues. I don't have time for your baby daddy issues. I don't have time for your current pregnancy or your recently released spawn into the world.
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
If you're pregnant and you're on this app, get off. It's not emotionally healthy. The amount of women that have posted pictures of them 8 months before they were pregnant, and this is caveat to this: you need to have, if you're going to post a picture of you 2 years ago, you need to post a picture of you also 2 days ago. There's pictures of me where my hair is a lot shorter, but I clearly have a picture next to it that shows my hair all the way down like this, and people are like, oh, this is called evolution. So in 2 years I didn't age like a fucking old raisin. Like, this is why I do it. It's for context. But if you are pregnant, just get off this app, because you're not in a good mental place. Clearly, like you clearly are looking for some type of community or some type of relationship that isn't well spawned. You could do this with your friends, family, but this app isn't where you want to do it. Two, if you just had a baby, once again, don't subject yourself to this emotional hike. Like, it's just a hike that you're not going to be prepared to handle. And maybe you are some super mature girl that figured out everything within the last 9 months and like, okay, look, I'm going to get myself going. All right, cool. Prove it to yourself for 2 years, then come back. Get your child on a foundation, because it's not about me anymore. I should not be your priority if you have a child in front of you. And the fact is, that child isn't going to be my priority until you're a priority to me. I don't fall in love with your kid. I fall in love with you. Then the kid comes.
Yep.
So if you can't focus on your child, I damn sure don't want to see a situation where you're trying to focus on me.
Ooh, that's the truth, man.
Man, today I've been throwing a lot of haymakers, and ladies, I'm sorry if I'm coming off as a little bit stubborn, but it's just because I want to see the best version of you. I want people to be happy. And when I constantly see people tripping over their own fallacies, trying to make sense of the world, it leads me to believe that they don't understand the consequences of their actions. So you can continue right off with your list, but there's just certain things that will make a relationship difficult no matter where you come from.
Seems like every night, don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we can catch the vibes.